This is the Shanice Lewis Show, the #1 podcast for plus-size women. With your host, the queen of curvy conversation, Shanice Lewis.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Shanice Lewis. Today is Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. Make sure you're following this show's social media pages on Facebook at The Shanice Lewis Show, on Instagram and Twitter at Shanice Show, and make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and now we are on Amazon Music. So subscribe on your favorite podcasting app and never miss a show. Today we have a very special guest. Nadia Boujarwah is the co-founder and CEO of Dia&Co. Growing up, Boujarwah struggled to find stylish clothing in her size. She knew she wasn't alone, so she teamed up with her Harvard Business School classmate, Lydia Gilbert, to transform the shopping experience for the 100 million plus-size women in America. Dia&Co stylists work with top brands from industry staples to up-and-coming young designers to provide each customer with curated looks to suit her unique style and shape. Dia has a dedicated and diverse customer base crossing all 50 states and more than 80% of zip codes. Prior to founding Dia&Co, Nadia worked with an investment banker at Perella Weinberg Partners and most recently served as COO and CFO of New York-based jewelry brand Frieda and Nellie. With a Cuban mother and Kuwaiti father, she hails from both Miami and the Middle East and is currently based in New York. Let's welcome Nadia to the show. Hi, Nadia. Are you there?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm so excited to talk to you. I know you're very busy and have a lot of things going on, so thank you for taking the time to do this interview today.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm such a fan of the show, and I'm so excited to reconnect after, I think, 4 years since we chatted last.
Absolutely. Now, you launched Dia&Co in 2014. And in 6 short years, you have built a successful brand. Now, one of the things you did correct from the beginning was getting active in the plus-size community. Was that part of your business plan to actively engage with the community, or did you learn to do that on the job after you launched?
That's a great question. I think the truth is that we started this business really for ourselves at the very beginning. I've been a plus-size woman all of my life. I've always loved fashion and style, and one of the things that really inspired me to kind of come off the sidelines and go from a unhappy and frustrated shopper of plus-size clothing to, be on the business side were bloggers. I think it's sometimes hard to think back to the days of web blogs and early Instagram in 2012 and 2013, but it really was women like Chastity Garner and Gabby Gregg and others who were pioneers in the influencer space and really giving voice to this community for the first time that inspired me. And I think it was really with them and through them that, we were able to build our business. And I think community has just always been such a critical part and still is. The plus size community really is at the center of everything that we do. And I think one of the most special parts about being a brand in our space. So really, really critical to who we are.
And I had the opportunity to interview you in 2016, as you mentioned, when you were fairly new in the business, just launching 2 years prior. What do you know now about the plus-size industry that you wish you would have known then?
Honestly, I think that reflecting on the last 6 years, I would say that my overwhelming feeling is that what we thought we knew then, we're certain of now. And really, like at the heart of that is the idea that this is a community of extraordinary, inspiring women who are as excited, as eager to participate in style and fashion as anybody else. And, you know better than anyone that there's an eternal debate in retail and in fashion about inclusivity and, whether brands should extend and how brands should extend. And we believed then that it was absolutely the responsibility of and the fault of, in all honesty, retailers and brands that the market wasn't bigger than it was today. And I know now, without a shadow of a doubt, that it's, that's true, that the community is there. She is an avid consumer of style. Our community lives rich and full lives, and, clothing and style is really just the vehicle to be able to do that. And it's high time that everyone else really get on board with that, but we're certain of it now.
But what were some of the obstacles getting your brand off the ground that you had to overcome?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is that it's hard to build a business. Everything from getting funding to developing vendor relationships and really building out an assortment and, a suite of brands that we felt was really going to be exciting and worthwhile to our community has been hard. I think, on the investment side, I think there was a lot of skepticism around the plus size market, and our ability to raise capital to really get our business off the ground, I think was, more challenging than it would have been in another category, because investors have the same skepticism that retailers do in a way. And, we were very lucky in that we found great investors who really believed in our vision and what we believed was possible for the plus size community and have supported us along the way. But, the brand side was really a challenge too, because as you mentioned, we started working exclusively with third-party brands and, brands from the ecosystem. And it came a point that it was clear that there just weren't enough brands in the space. And our ability to really have a personalized experience for each member of our community required us to be able to have an assortment and a range of styles that was just very, very hard to source. And so over time, one of the places where we've spent really a majority of our effort has been in bringing brands into Plus, building our own brands. We have 12 in-house brands that we've built at Dia that really, were intended to fill some of the gaps that we saw and in response to the feedback that we were getting from consumers. But we've also worked with dozens of brands over the years to really bring them into Plus, everyone from Betsy Johnson and Nanette Lepore. We just launched a collaboration with Fila that took the Fila line to a 5X for the first time. Rebel Wilson, Venus Williams line 11 came into Plus for the first time with us. And so I think really being very creative and very, proactive about working with brands that may be hesitant to come into Plus on their own or really need a partner to figure out fit and distribution. But overall, I'd say that, really building out the assortment and getting brands to come into Plus in a high quality way has been a big part of our work and one of the challenges that we faced originally.
And I'm curious if one of your obstacles was educating the community about subscription boxes, because you launched that at a time that was fairly new for plus sizes.
It's true. I think it was, and I think that it only worked because it actually made sense for her. I think that the nature of our relationship with consumers is that it's a long-term relationship, and really the women in our community develop a relationship with their stylist over time. And so it's really that drove the awareness of and the acceptance of the subscription rather than the business model itself. But one of the things that was clear as we kind of grew and evolved our business was that she wanted to be able to shop with us in multiple ways. And so in 2019, we added pretty meaningfully to the ways that she could shop by launching, a more traditional online shopping experience for her. So she can buy individual pieces when she wants to and, buy more of the things that she loves, but she can also work with a stylist on the subscription side of our business and, have the benefit of having someone else pick things for you that you may not have picked for yourself and, going outside of your comfort zone a little bit only to find that you love something that you may not have tried otherwise. And so I think that there's a really special combination now of experiences where she can get that service and that, surprise and delight of working with a stylist who cares so deeply about her style journey while also shopping, with more autonomy on the e-commerce side of our business. And the two together has actually been the best outcome.
Now, for those listening who may not be familiar with Dia&Co, tell us what type of clothing you carry. So we carry probably the largest assortment of plus-size clothing on the internet. We work with hundreds of brands, the brands that you may know from other retail stores, but also brands that we work with exclusively. In plus sizes, we have 12 of our own brands that span from romantic bohemian brands to workwear brands, which, we're using a little bit less of these days. We also have the largest assortment of plus size active and athleisure, and that's a place where we've actually worked very actively with partnerships. I mentioned a couple minutes ago that we were thrilled last week to launch exclusive collaboration with Fila that it was just so fun, and for the first time bringing those products up until a 5X, which was really exciting. So we work with really any brand that you can imagine and many exclusive brands to Dia, and we allow our community members to shop in the way that she feels the most comfortable and she feels like she's getting the best service. So you can work with a stylist, which most of our customers still choose to do, and the stylist will get to know you. She will send you products that you can try on at home. If you don't like them, you just send them back and you only pay for what you decide to keep. Over time, we find that the relationship with the stylist really just kind of opens up women's closets in a way that ends up, making it possible to try brands on, try silhouettes on, try styles and fashion on that you may not have tried on your own. And it's really the thing that I think our community loves the most. But if, that specific way of shopping is not what you're looking for, you can also shop our e-commerce site, which has many of the same pieces. Our stylists do work with a larger selection, and gives you an opportunity to try things on in a more traditional way. Now, you just mentioned that you have 12 of your own brands. You manufacture clothing now too?
We do. We started doing that in 2017. And really it was just directly out of feedback from our customers. It was clear that she wanted, styles and aesthetics and occasions that she just couldn't find, and we couldn't find either working with other brands. And so we began the process of really designing into her feedback. And those brands have done very well, and they're a big part of our business today.
Is it called Dia&Co, or you have different brand names?
We have different brand names. So I'll tell you some of my favorites. I think we have the best denim in the world. I highly recommend everyone try our denim if they haven't before. And our denim, my favorite denim from Dia is from a brand called Molly and Isadora, which is one of our in-house brands. Molly was actually our first customer, and really inspired the aesthetic for this brand, and so the brand is named after her. We have, a whole suite of brands that fit other aesthetics, and, each are really built around a persona of our customers that we wanted to be able to serve exceptionally through these styles. And as I mentioned, we also have activewear brands. So when we first went into the activewear business, we, bought product and sourced brands as much as we could, but there was still a gap. And so we started designing into that as well, under brand names that each represent a different, really, persona and aesthetic within our customer base.
I did not know that you were manufacturing clothes. I don't know where I've been. I didn't know that. You have a bigger operation than I knew. So you have designers in your company designing clothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I will. I'm going to make sure that you at least try on our jeans and see what you think of our in-house designs. They're truly the best jeans I've ever worn. So.
Nice. And so you also mentioned that you have an e-commerce portion on the website. Now, why did you decide to add that option? Was it something that people were asking for that maybe didn't want to commit to a monthly subscription?
It actually started because we had customers who, actually our denim in particular, it started because we had customers who would receive a pair of, our best fitting jeans in like a dark wash. And what she wanted was once she knew how well the jeans fit her, she wanted them in black, and she wanted them in a light wash, and she wanted them in a medium wash. And the styling experience is really about trying new things, not necessarily just buying more of the things that you already know and like. And so we started giving her the opportunity to repurchase things that she really loved because she wanted them in different styles, and she, wanted a new one this year or whatever it may be, and it just grew from there. And so it really came from our customers wanting to get more access to the stuff that they already loved. And now it's a complete, offering that sits alongside our styling business where our collaborations are a good example. If we launch a limited edition collaboration with a brand and our customers really just want the one piece that they really love from that collaboration, now she can just buy it from our e-commerce site. And she doesn't have to, kind of hope that it comes in her box from her stylist. So it gives our customers both the opportunity to have the surprise and delight of the styling experience, but also, when she really wants something, she can just buy it. And I think, so far the feedback has been great.
Good. Now, for those listening, also tell us the price point and the size range of your clothing.
So we serve women sizes 14 to 32. We've, learned and gotten feedback from our customers that there are many women who may be a size 14 on the top or on the bottom, and maybe a size 12 in other parts of her body. And so in reality, we can serve women sizes 12 to 32 today. We have a wide range of price points, both within our brands and in the brands that we work with throughout our assortment. So, if you're looking for an investment piece, a beautiful jacket, or a dress that you'll come back to, that those opportunities are available. And if you really want to be able to, explore and try things at a lower price point, that's available too. So I think if you check out our site, you'll see that there's really a wide range, and we're always working to expand that to make sure that our customers can explore certainly across as wide a range of sizes as possible, but also across as wide a range of price points as possible.
Mm-hmm. And you've also mentioned that your new partnership that is a big deal right now is with a brand that we have all known since the 80s. And you say Fila, but I'm from the South, so we say Fili. So I'm probably not pronouncing it correctly.
Oh, interesting.
But we say Fili down here, like Lie. So.
Oh, interesting. I haven't heard that before. I grew up loving that brand, and I feel like it's such an iconic legacy brand, and really kind of reimagined into just fun, athleisure, active collection. There are 2 pairs of leggings, both of which I absolutely love. They're so fun. Heritage sweatshirt, a awesome fleece jacket, lots of accessories. I wear my new Fila fanny pack all the time when I'm exercising. It's a really, really fun collaboration. It's selling out fast, but I think there's a little bit left on the site.
And my best friend is a high school teacher, and she said a couple years ago all the high school kids are wearing that brand again. So they were able to rebrand and come back and be cool. Because when all the high school kids are wearing it, you've made it as a brand. You're cool. So that's
absolutely. I know, it was a throwback. It was really fun.
And so, why is that significant for the plus size market?
I think that we just want choices. We want to be able to feel empowered in our activewear, certainly, but we also want to participate in style and fashion. And I think for me, being able to have access to the brands that I want, the styles that I want, has always been so important to me. And I feel really extraordinarily fortunate that I'm able to play a part in doing that. And at the end of the day, really, it's access, and it's access to self-expression, which we think is just so important.
And Dia&Co, another way you're active with the community is with your blog. Now, your blog is relaunching on Monday, or did it relaunch the past Monday?
It relaunched yesterday, so it's been a big week for us, big couple of weeks. And, the blog is really important for us because the blog really allows us to amplify and elevate voices from our community. This inaugural edition is about new beginnings, and we were able to work with really thoughtful members of our community, Laura Dorado, who folks may remember from Refinery 29, and a poet whom we really love named Priyanka Seju. And so, obviously we do a lot of writing, but we're also able to have contributors who can really speak to the uniqueness of their experiences, and I think overall just contribute to a conversation and an exploration of plus-size culture that we feel is very special. And honestly, I don't think that we've been able to get that anywhere else. And so being able to play that role for our community has just been really, really important to us.
Do you take submissions or pitches for your blog?
Absolutely. It really is a platform for the community and to share voices and experiences and stories from across our community. And we'd love to get as many voices as possible.
Nice. And I also hear you have a new IG series. Now tell us about that. Are you trying to take over my job as host?
Inspired by you. It's been awesome. I think we, in all honesty, when COVID started and we realized that we were going to be at home and it was going to be harder and harder to connect with our community, we went back to the drawing board and tried to figure out how can we stay connected, how can we continue to encourage each other and learn from each other, and continue the conversation on plus-size culture and representation in this new world that we're living in. And Instagram has been a big part of that for us. So I guess now, maybe a few months ago, I launched a series called Nadia Plus, which is every Thursday night at 8:00. And it is honestly just like a highlight of my week. I get to spend time with thought leaders and influencers and innovators that are pushing forward the conversation on representation and plus-size culture in their respective fields. We've had everyone from Zach Miko, who you guys may know as, our favorite plus-size male model, to Julie Murphy, the author of Dumpling, who's joining me next week, and dozens of people in between. And I think just being able to hear the stories of each of these members of our community who are, advancing in their own fields and changing the conversation in their own fields and pushing forward representation in their own way has just been definitely inspiring to me, but I know also inspiring to our community.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to put my name in the hat to be one of your guests because I'm celebrating 20 years in the plus-size industry this year.
You should assume that we have already taken you up on that. So everyone heard it here first. She's joining Nadia Plus coming up soon.
Yes. And so you mentioned you created this out of being home with the COVID-19 pandemic. So how else did that affect your business?
I think the reality is that COVID has upended almost every part of our lives. And I think we are, still standing and adjusting to it. But I do think that one of the things that, we should all be paying more attention to is that I do think that the plus size consumer overall will be more impacted from an industry perspective than others. We've been tracking very closely, obviously, what's been happening in our space. And I think really we were struck by our own analysis that in the plus size market, basically since COVID started, almost 30% of stores have permanently closed.
Wow.
Plus size only stores. And it's just astonishing. And I think that, in so many ways it's heartbreaking because I feel like we've made so much progress in the last, 5 to 7 years in the world of plus size fashion. And unfortunately, I think that some of that progress will be eroded. I think just because of how challenging a time this has been in retail. And so we're spending a lot of time thinking about, how the shopping experience for our community is going to be changing and how we can make sure that we're adapting our own products and our own services and our own offerings to make sure that she is still able to access what she wants and shop in the way that she feels comfortable and really be able to express herself through fashion. But I do think that probably not enough attention has been paid yet to how dramatic the changes will be in our category in particular.
So were you so excited that you did not go into a brick and mortar store, that you did not have that overhead during the pandemic?
I mean, there could have been, there was no way to know going into 2020 that this would be the case. But I think the fact that we are an online only business and that we've, really fine-tuned our offering and our business to be able to serve customers online, I think has been very fortunate for us. And I think is just the way that we're going to shop more and more going forward. So, we feel like we're very lucky that we can continue to serve our community and to continue to push the boundaries of fashion and plus, and are going to continue listening to our customers and making sure that as her options actually may be getting fewer going forward, that we're really able to meet her needs and provide her what she needs most in this new retail environment.
Exactly. So do you have anything else happening that we can be on the lookout for?
I would definitely love for folks to tune into Nadia Plus. I'm really excited for next week. Julie Murphy is, I think, just a phenomenal author and has done so much to advance plus size storytelling through Dumplin' and her other stories. And be a part of our blog. Read the stories of these incredible women who are sharing. Priyanka Seju is sharing a 4-part series on fertility and her own journey to motherhood that's just been extraordinarily thoughtful. And, we'd love for folks to join in the conversation and contribute to the conversation, by writing if they're open to it. So it really is a special place and a conversation that we are committed to continuing to foster. So excited for folks to read more about it.
Awesome. And before you go, tell us your official website and social media pages.
We're just dia.com, dia.com, and you can work with a stylist from there, or you can shop our e-commerce site from there. So everything is there. And on social, we are Dia&Co, DIAANCO. And we're always having fun and, talking about important things across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So join us. We'd love to have you guys be a part of the conversation.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I was excited to catch up with you because, when I interview somebody 4 or 5 years, sometimes the time goes by and then they're gone. So I'm excited to see you're still standing, you're successful, and I definitely look forward to working with you in the future.
Absolutely. Well, I look forward to seeing you on Nadia Plus soon, Shanice.
Yes. We'll definitely be in touch. So enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Thank you so much. It was great to chat. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Bye-bye. Thank you to our fabulous guests today, Nadia. Make sure you check out Dia&Co and all of their fabulous clothing, their new partnership with Fila, however you want to pronounce it. And Thank you for tuning in always. I've been your host, Shanice Lewis. Thank you for tuning in and supporting. Until next time, keep thriving in your curves and be blessed.
You've been listening to The Shanice Lewis Show. For more info about the show, visit ShaniceLewisShow.com.